Hi, this video is to show you how to do two things. First is how to export an assessment from Brightspace as a zip file that you could share with other people. And the second one is how do you take questions out of a test in Brightspace and actually get them into Word so that you can maybe edit them or have a hard copy of them, right? So I'm in my class. To export a file, I'm going to go to Course Admin. I'm going to hit Import, Export, Copy Components. I'm going to go down to Export as Brightspace Package. You have this option of including course files. So like if you've got an assessment and you've attached files with it or something like that, this would also include those. But since I just want the questions, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to unclick that. And now I'm going to go down to Assessments and select individual items to export. And then I'm going to go to the quiz that I want to export. Hit Continue. It's going to give me another chance to maybe include those course files right there. And this is a pretty short quiz, so it doesn't take a lot to export or create that zip file. So I'm going to hit Finish, and then I can click here, and it will download that zip file onto my hard drive, right? And it'll usually download it in your download file, so you just go there and find it. So that's how to create an exportable file. So if you've written a test in Brightspace and you want to share it with someone else, then that's why you'd want to do that. So what do you do though if you have, maybe you've inherited a course and someone has written a test and you change editions and some of those questions are no longer relevant or no longer covered in the book or something like that. And maybe you want to do a lot of changes, or maybe you just want to have a hard copy of that file so that if you maybe teach that class face to face, you want to be able to use the same test, right? So this is how you can get around the problem of creating that. So I'm going to go to the assessment in question. And I've created a one question test question just so it's easier. I'm going to go to Edit. And the first thing you need to do is go to Submission Views, right? This will allow me to get, when I submit the quiz, it'll allow me to see all of the questions in one page. So I'm going to click on Default View, or you can add another view. And right here, I'm going to say show questions yes. I think the default is no, so that when a student takes the quiz, they're just going to get feedback that they actually submitted it. But if you want students to be able to see, maybe like this one, show the questions they answered incorrectly or correctly, show the questions without user responses, or this one would show the questions with the user responses, right? So they'd actually get to see what they answered, and if they answered it correctly, there'll be a red X. And then there'll be a green dot by the right thing, right? If I hit show question answers, right? So I'm just going to say show all questions without user responses, and I'm going to save that. And now that's my default view. So now I'm going to go back to Properties, and I'm going to go up here and click Preview. And I'm going to hit Start Assessment, and this is going to let me take the test, right? And so, real easy question. I'm going to hit Submit Assessment. It's going to ask me, do I really want to do it? So I'm going to say yes. And now I'm immediately going to get that feedback. And because I only chose to see the questions, I don't see what I answered. I'm going to see what I made. And so all I have to do is just drag and my mouse, highlight all of this. So if you've got 10 questions, you just highlight all of them, hit Control C, and then go into Word and hit Control V. Now, when I paste, you can see that this is all a table and I've got radial buttons. If you've got a long quiz, it might take a while for it to paste into Word, right? Just wait it out. It'll do that, right? Now, if I try to undo all of this formatting, it would take me a long time. So what I do is I save this as a text file. And that's going to eliminate all of that formatting and coding so that I just have the text, right? Now, I'm going to have to click out of here, and then I'm going to reopen There it is. And so, and again, depending on the complexity of the questions, there might be a lot for you to delete, but usually I just have to delete that. And then I can delete this next line. And then I've got true and false. Then I can change the font to something a little nicer, right? And then I can number it, right? And then you just would save as, the DOCX to keep that formatting, right? So that's the only way that I'm aware of to actually take a quiz or a test out of Brightspace and actually get it into Word for you to be able to edit and maybe have a hard copy for students to use in a face-to-face class. So I hope that helped. Continue sending me questions for video instructions if you have them. Bye-bye.